Today I'll be exploring some major economic ideas of capitalism, socialism, and communism, focusing on the legacies of Marx and Engels and their real-world outcomes, as seen in the documentary Heaven on Earth, The Rise and Fall of Socialism. We'll examine how these ideologies were meant to shape society and why in practice they led to very different results. So capitalism is built on private ownership, profit motives, and market-driven economies, often resulting in wealth inequalities. In contrast, socialism and communism seek collective ownership, central planning, and wealth redistribution to ensure equality and meet everyone's basic needs. While socialism allows for both public and private sectors, communism aims for a classless, stateless society through revolutionary means. So Marx and Engels critiqued capitalism, arguing it exploited workers, enriching the ruling class while deepening social inequality. They predicted a revolution where the working class would seize power in time, create a communist society, one without classes or state control. And they would write the Communism Manifesto, from each according to his ability to each according to his needs. This famous Marxist slogan embodies the ideals of communism. People contribute based on their ability and receive according to their need, creating a fairer society where everyone has access to what is necessary for a dignified life. While Marx and Engels envisioned a sudden revolutionary change, history kind of showed that revolutions often came with significant human costs, such as the Red Terror under Lenin, which led to millions of deaths. Some argue that social change can happen gradually through reforms rather than violent overthrows. Marx divided society into two key classes: the proletariat, the working class who produce wealth, and the bourgeois, the capitalist class who owns the means of production and profit from that exploitation. Lenin adopted Marx's ideas to Russian conditions, arguing that even in an undeveloped, less industrialized society, a revolution was possible. He believed a vanguard party could lead the workers even before the masses fully understood their class interests, leading to the 1917 Russia Revolution. So unlike Marx's prediction of revolution in industrialized nations, revolution broke out in Russia. Deep economic inequalities, poverty, and disgust with the Tsarist regime, coupled with Lenin's leadership, created fertile ground for radical change. In a command economy, central planning leads to inefficiency, stagnation, and limited innovation. Conversely, free market economies, despite their flaws of inequality and worker exploitation, tends to foster innovation, competition, and economic growth. So what was the human cost of socialist dictatorship? Socialist regimes have been responsible for millions of deaths through famine, purges, political repression. From Stalin's Great Terror to Mao's Great Leap Forward, historical evidence suggests the high human cost of socialist experiments, with death tolls reaching tens of millions. According to the documentary, socialist dictatorships were responsible for an estimated 30 to 40 million deaths, up to 100 million deaths, because there were so many ways to die. So will socialism ever succeed? Despite its noble ethical foundation, socialism has often delved into authoritative leadership to widespread suffering. While some believe socialism can evolve, the documentary is skeptical of the future viability given its historical failures. And I do not think socialism will be what Marxist theory thought it would be. So if it was to come about, I don't think it would be through a violent revolution, but possibly a reform. So Heaven on Earth critically examines the outcomes of socialism implementation, showing that despite its lofty ideas, socialist systems often result in authoritative rule and human suffering. In contrast, we look at capitalism, that has its own flaws in itself, is actually shown to promote economic freedom and growth and competition. The future of socialism will depend on whether it can learn from past mistakes and evolve into a system that balances fairness with individual liberty. Overall, this documentary was very eye-opening, especially to help distinguish socialism and communism and capitalism, because like many others, when I hear communism, I think of all the bad instead of possibly some of the good intentions it had that Marxists thought it would be. However, it did not. So thank you for your time today. Have a good day.